I was working at Studio Movie Grill and was the executive assistant for the CEO. And I was really struggling. He is very entrepreneurial, and without intent, he was creating a lot of drama everywhere. I don't know if you're familiar with the Peanuts group. They do, just the cartoon Peanuts and Charlie Brown and all of those. Well, in there's a character called Pigpen. And Pigpen is, wherever he goes, he leaves this trail of dirt and stuff behind him. And that's kind of how I envisioned. It wasn't intent, but boy, there was a trail behind our CEO every time he walked around the company or went. And so that trail was drama. And I was introduced to the Stegan Academy and found Ted there. And my life totally changed after that. I remember while I was going through the learning, we had a coach assigned to us. I was on a call with my coach because I was behind on my work. And she was asking me why I was behind. And I said, it's because of our boss. I can't do this. He's always changing paths. Da, 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 da. And she didn't let me get away with it. She just stopped me. And she said, so you're a victim and you don't have any ability to change this. And I remember feeling so frustrated that she didn't get it. And we hung up from that call, and it was the next day after I reread part of the book about the drama triangle, and it was just like, oh my gosh, I am being a victim. And it just didn't even dawn on me. After that, it changed, and I realized it doesn't matter how my boss handles things. I have the ability to control how I handle things. And I am not going to be in the drama triangle. I am going to jump over to the empowerment dynamic. And of course, as you know, Susan, it's not just like a light switch. All of a sudden we are living in the empowerment dynamic for the rest of our life. But it's that first step, right? And then little by little, you just keep practicing and practicing. And so it was just this amazing aha for me of realizing that through much of my life, I had been this victim, even though I saw myself as this positive, go out there and get things done kind of person.
Lovely. And I think a lot of people will relate to that with that entrepreneurial boss. I was relating to it too as an entrepreneurial person who was go, 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 go. I was thinking, oh yeah, poor you, that you had to put up with someone like me. But you realise it comes down to you internally. How are you processing that, doesn't it?
That's right. Yeah. And I was putting all this blame on him when in fact it wasn't his fault. He was being who he authentically is. And are there better ways to do things sometimes? Of course there are. There was things that he could improve. But I was creating all this extra drama by being a victim and blaming it on him. So I didn't have to take responsibility for how I was handling things.
Did you feel tired all the time when you were being in that space?
I was exhausted all the time. And I was working way too many hours because I was spending too much time being in this emotional state of the drama triangle, right? And so, yeah, it was exhausting. It was not productive at all. And of course, we all know that any drama in the workplace rubs off on other people. Then it just continues to grow. And so much like the vision of Pigpen, what I realized, instead of him being Pigpen, I kind of was being Pigpen.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
None of us want to be Pigpen.
No.
So what was the moment or experience, aside from that made you believe in Ted so strongly? What was it about Ted?
It made sense. It just made sense. All of a sudden, when you realize that all of these things that are getting to you emotionally, that are driving your anxiety and your stress and everything, when you realize that whether you're creating it or not, you're contributing to that, it just makes sense to go, oh, wait a minute. And, you know, one of the big things we learn in TED is we can't control what others do. Nor should we, right?
That's
we don't
right.
need to be worried about what other people are doing. So yes, somebody else can be in the drama triangle, can be creating all of this, but we don't have to jump in there with them. We can stay in the empowerment dynamic. And whether they choose to move out of the drama triangle or into the empowerment dynamic or not, we can choose to be in the empowerment dynamic. As a leader, when we come to every meeting or to every interaction with the other person on our mind and on our heart, we may make mistakes. Everybody makes mistakes, right?
Yeah.
It's okay. The message it sends other people is that we care about you. And you can't always say yes to everything. You know, when you're a leader in a big organization, there's times you have to say, no, that's not the direction we're going, or, hey, I love the fact that you brought an idea, but it's not the right time. But you do it with care. You do it with care for the other person. And that's just so different. Before, when I was younger, everything was all about me. You and I in the community talk a lot about how do we spread this, right? And one thing that really helped me too is when I was going through this training and was introduced to TED, there were several of my coworkers, we were all going through it at the same time. And I saw them grabbing it and saying, there's something here. And so we saw each other changing a little bit. And that really spurred my curiosity that, oh, wait a minute, it's not just me. There's something going on here. And then we started talking about it. And when you see something that truly works, you want more. I mean, as a salesperson, I went to, I don't know how many conferences, all these things that you go to and you get pumped up and excited about this, and then you come back in about 3 or 4 weeks, it's all gone. This was different. I was seeing this change our people that went through it. And I was every day being involved in conversations that were all of a sudden different.
I was delivering the program to a whole school in Hong Kong, 50 staff, and I was witnessing what you're saying, and it was just filling me up with so much joy to see that this principal and vice principal decided to bring that to their staff. They just chose to. They said, we'd love them to have TED in their lives. They weren't even saying for work, they were saying in their lives. Yeah. Oh my God, what are these type of leaders like? And they were all saying, how awkward it was at first. They were going, oh God, we're TEDing at each other and sounding like, we're making up this new language. And then by the end of it, they were just so chill. They were just all let's do a do-over, let's do this. And I think it was a beautiful thing to watch, but knowing the ripple effect of that, like as you said, there was a few of you doing it and there was something bigger going on for all of you. I just think of the lives that touches. It touches your son. It touches the people who are anywhere near you on the way home from work. That you've got that different sense about you, I think.
Yeah. It's really, really amazing. It was probably 6 months after we finished that training, and we're like, this belongs here. Yeah. And we worked really hard to integrate it. And I can tell you, it's amazing to me now that everybody gets an opportunity to learn TED, from the new hourly team member that we have all the way to the CEO. We talk about it. We have the same language. One of the most amazing things that happened early on that really drove us to keep it going was we had a company meeting where we literally had every different staff. It wasn't just an executive meeting, it was everybody. And to be able to hear the language being spoke from everybody. And We're kind of a funny company. We like to joke around. So to be able to hear, one of our hourly staff say to the vice president, "Oh, I think you're persecuting us," in fun, because we always talked about don't weaponize it, but it was like, for me, I didn't think life could get any better to be able to see a room full of people with all different levels, in our company, having an amazing conversation, sharing that similar language and understanding, and really listening to each other. I mean, it's a game changer. There were a couple of things I expected when I started championing this. What I didn't expect was how much our team members appreciated us offering it to them. I didn't think about that piece of it. I thought about, I know it's going to improve productivity. I know it's going to improve our communication. I know having a common language is good. All of these things, and I know what it did for me, so I know it's, but what I didn't expect is so many of our team members coming up to me after the classes, 6 months, a year, 2 years later, saying, "This is so amazing. We should never stop doing this. How can we get this down to more team members? It's changed my life." I mean, I have stories of general managers calling me and saying, "This not only has made me a better general manager, but it's made me a better parent," and just on and on. And that was the piece that I didn't really think about. And that's the most important piece.
Yeah. Wow. 15-year journey with TED altogether for you personally, is that right?
Yeah, about 14, 15 years. Yeah.
Wow, okay. What's been the most rewarding aspect for you personally and professionally?
Personally, the impact I have on others, the gratitude I have for this work. It has made me such a better human, which means that every interaction I have with people is more valuable for me and them. I just like who I am because I practice TED. And that sounds real sappy and real like, yeah, whatever, but it is totally the truth. I know how important face-to-face impact is. It can be going to the local coffee house, ordering a coffee, right? And you're in there for whatever, 3-4 minutes. But that impact with the barista can either add to their drama or take away from their drama, or that barista can add to my drama or take away from my drama, right? And a 3-minute impact can be so effective in helping somebody's life be better. And that's what TED has done for me. Well, thank you. I always like to say, watch out world. When you get 2 TED champions together, a lot can happen. There may be a little bit of mileage between us, but boy, we can make that seem real small.
Oh, I know.
You're an amazing champion, the things that you're doing. So I appreciate the honor to be able to spend some time with you.
Yeah, it's a pleasure.